This is the tutorial for lesson 6, and this is going to go over some really important commands that you are going to use as long as you're using CAD. These are some really important commands that I think you're going to find make your life a lot easier when it comes to completing your drawings. So the first command that the book goes over is the break command, and I'm going to go ahead and bypass the break command because you're going to end up using the trim and the extend command far more than you're going to use the break command. So we're going to go ahead and start out with trim. I'm going to just draw a couple lines with a circle intersecting them just to highlight the importance of the trim command. So trim, I'm not sure if you remember this or not, but it is in your notes from day one. The shortcut for trim is TR, enter, enter. And the reason why we hit enter twice is so that you can use the trim command multiple times. So I've just hit enter twice. Now I can trim there, I can trim there, I can trim there, and I can trim there. I can even trim there and there. And basically how the trim command works is it will allow you to trim anywhere there is an intersection. Okay? So if there's no intersection, like for this guy, I can't trim that because there's no intersection. Sure, those lines touch, but there's no intersection there, so it's not going to allow me to trim that. All right? Another thing that you should be aware of is you can use trim to, I'll just show you. I'm going to draw a bunch of different lines here. And you can use the crossing window to help you out. So if I hit TR, enter, enter, and I don't just want to click on these individually, I can use my green crossing window and just touch each of those, and it will trim them all for me. And I could trim that guy, and if I wanted these all to be the exact same length, I could draw a little line across here, hit TR, enter, enter, and I could trim each of those guys, and then I could delete that line. And now I know that each of those lines are exactly the same height. So there's a lot of really neat tricks that you can use with trim. So again, trim is TR, enter, enter, and I think you're going to use that one a great deal. The next one after trim is extend, and extend is very similar to trim except it's doing the exact opposite. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff and I'll show you what extend will be. If I have a circle and I have a line going something like that, if I hit EX, enter, enter, and again I hit enter twice for the same reason that I hit enter twice when I hit trim, so I can use it multiple times. And if I go and I click towards the edge of the line that I want to extend, and I click on that, it will extend it. And I click on this again, and it will extend it again. And if I click on this again, and there's nowhere else for it to go, so I can't really do anything else. But if I were to put a line out here, something like that, and then I hit EX, enter, enter, and now I hit it, it will extend it, and it will keep extending it as long as there is something for it to extend to. So trim, TR, enter, enter, and then extend, EX, enter, enter. And those are going to be some important commands that you use quite a bit. After that, it brings up the move command, and you've seen me use the move command in lessons past, but now we're going to show you how to use it officially. So I'm going to go ahead and hit escape a couple times. Let's say I want to take this circle right here and I wanted to move it. Well, here's the move button, and it says specify from point. Well, maybe I want to move it from this quadrant right here, and maybe I want to snap that to that endpoint right there. Or maybe I want to click on move, and maybe I want to grab it from the center, and maybe I want to snap it to the center of that line right there. Or maybe you want to take this line right here, click on move, and maybe I want to grab it from the endpoint here, and I want to snap that to the quadrant right there. Okay, so you can move things from all sorts of different options. Maybe I want to take this line here, click on move, and sometimes I don't even have to click on the line. I can go over here and I can move it like this. I don't really know why you would do it like this, but it is an option for you to do it that way. Generally, when I'm moving things, I'm either grabbing it from the midpoint or the center point or the end point, and I'm trying to attach it to something else. Like maybe I want to attach it to the center right there, and move it that way. Okay, so move is definitely something that I use quite a bit. And again, I can take this rectangle right here, I can grab it by the corner right there, and I can snap it to that guy right there. Or I could take this rectangle, go to move, and I could snap the midpoint there to the end of that line right there. And it just makes it real easy to move things around. So understand the move command. After the move command, we have the explode command. And I'm going to get rid of a couple of these things, except this rectangle. I'm going to keep this rectangle because the rectangle is something great to explain the explode command. So as you can see, a rectangle is made up of 4 separate lines. However, currently this rectangle is one object. When I click on it, no matter what, I can't just click on one line. It selects all 4 lines because this is one object. Alright? So if I click on the rectangle, and then I click on this little bomb down here, this is known as explode. And what will happen once I click on it is now when I click on the rectangle, it has exploded this into 4 separate lines. So again, if I just draw a rectangle, if I click on that rectangle, that is one object or one set of lines, where now this rectangle down here is now made up of 4 separate lines. Okay? So explode explodes things into their individual pieces. So whether you had a polygon, maybe you had a 6-sided polygon side, and you'll see that's one object. If I explode this, now this polygon has separate sides, and I could delete a couple different sides and things like that. So there are times when you do want to explode things, and then times when you definitely it doesn't matter, and then times when you definitely don't want to explode things. One question I always get is, once I explode it, can I put it back so it's one piece? And you can, but it's a little different on how you do it. And how you do it is you would highlight it, you would right click and go to copy, and then you would right click and you would go to paste as block. And so here it is right over here. And let me move this guy so we can kind of compare them. So here is the one that is exploded currently. That's separate objects. Here's the one that's just the regular rectangular command, and you see what it looks like. And then here's the one that's a block. It only has one grip in the bottom left-hand corner. But really, that really doesn't matter, because if I click on move, I can still grab it. I can still click on this, and I can still grab it from this corner, and I could connect those 2 rectangles together, and it would look something like that. So you can paste them as a block, and that will make that into separate objects. I can also still explode this, and now that it has been exploded, you'll see that it is made up of separate lines or separate entities right now. So that is the explode command. So those are the main commands that you're going to need to know how to use for lesson 6. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these guys and show you what lesson 6 will be looking like when it's all said and done. This is 6A right here, and basically what it wanted you to do is draw a rectangle with some circles through it, and then use the trim command to make it look like a piece of Swiss cheese. And yes, for lesson 6, I do want to see the before and the after. So this is obviously the before, and then this is the after. Same idea with 6B. Kind of looks like a mess up here, and then kind of like a life preserver, like you might see on a cruise ship right there. Again, I want to see the before and the after. Here's the extend command. I just drawn a line this way, and then used EX, enter, enter to extend all of these lines to make it look like that. And then this is using kind of a combination of both to turn this into a tic-tac-toe game. This is a good practice right here for the move command. Make sure that you do pay attention to where these things are supposed to be, because a lot of people mess this up. As far as these little circles right here, as you can see, these are actually wrong. So these guys right here, this should be on the endpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and click on move and grab that guy and snap that to the endpoint like so. That is how it should look. It should not look like this. So I can click on this, click on move, snap it to that quadrant right there, and then just snap it up. And this gives you a good idea of how you can fix these things fairly easy without having to delete it and redraw it. But a lot of people make this mistake where this is what it looks like, and then it needs to look like this. The quadrant, and snap that guy right there. So that's what that should look like. And again, I do want to see the before and the after. You can see I do have a point right there as well. It's kind of hard to see. So I can go to point and go to my settings, and I will change that to my little X, which I like because it's easier to see. And so there's my point right there. It's a bit easier to see. There's the computer ambulance that it shows in the book. Feel free to be a little creative with that and draw one that you think is a little bit more interesting, a little bit more exciting than this one. So there's that guy. Obviously they use the donuts for the wheels and the tires. So just using some stuff that we've learned in the past. And then this one is just trying to do what you did up here, but using a little bit different method. And go ahead and see the book for the instructions on how to complete that. Okay, so that's lesson 6. And like I said, I think trim, extend, move, and explode are going to make your life a lot easier with future lessons to come. Okay, we'll see you again for Unit 7.